we got for the Phase 3 preview, Season of Discovery, World of Warcraft. Let's see what they have in store for us in the Phase 3. From what I heard, there are some crazy good things.
Hi, everyone. I'm Clay Stone, Associate Production Director of WoW Classic.
The volume down a
Welcome
bit.
to our Season of Discovery Phase 3 preview. As our team has shared in the past, we have been blown away by the reception to Season of Discovery, and we're so excited to share this sneak peek at what's ahead with you. So with that, let's take a look at what we'll be covering today. We'll kick things off with raid information.
Nice.
Then, a
The
preview
new
of
raid.
rune abilities, followed by our PvP updates,
New rules, of course.
changes and additions being
PvP
made to world
updates.
events, a look at what's coming to professions, and close it out with a very important system update and more, which you're definitely going to want to stick around for. All right, so just like last time, some disclaimers. We're going to put the build up on PTR soon to check our era and hardcore realms. But like all the other phases, Phase 3 of Season of Discovery will not have a PTR for player testing. Still, there will be some data mining that occurs in advance of the launch. But as we've been saying since the beginning of Season of Discovery, not everything data mined will actually be in the phase or future phases. So speculators beware. And conversely,
this is for
more to
all the
discover
data
in this upcoming
miners.
phase and beyond than we're going to talk about ahead of time. And we want your feedback. Everything we do across Classic continues to be a journey that is co-written by you, the players. And we can't wait to hear your thoughts on all of it. All right. So I'm sure
yes,
it is a total surprise.
I've been saying that this will be the raid that we will get. So Temple of Akar, of Atalakar, Sunken Temple is going to be the new raid. 20 players
Absolutely
as well.
No one saw coming that the Temple
We
of
all saw it
Atalakar,
coming.
aka the Sunken Temple, will be our new and first 20-player level up raid.
Yes.
This raid is jam-packed with 8 bosses, tons of new items, including new item sets,
so one more
new
boss,
and revamped epic drops, and up-leveled and rebalanced quest rewards. This is also when the level 50 class quests come online, which will provide a wide array of powerful items for each class. Jumping into a quick
I wonder if they're
going to
change those rewards.
The first boss in this
Let's see the
raid
bosses.
is Atalarion, a massive berserker troll that acts as a bit of a janitor, cleaning up or potentially eating any person or thing that happens to fall down from the atrium above. If the fall doesn't kill you, this guy definitely will. Next up, we have a brand new boss,
I don't know about that.
Rot Slime. This engorged, gelatinous monster inexorably patrols one of the outer rings of the Sunken Temple, consuming any wandering adventurers hapless enough to cross its path.
Okay, this looks
a bit
nice.
further into the raid,
Till
we
now.
have Jamal An and Ogam, a priest and an undead avenger, utterly dedicated to seeing the blood god Hakar return to the mortal world. These two will keep you on your toes and have a few tricks up their sleeve to keep the fight interesting each time you encounter them. The last boss in this preview is the mighty green dragon, Aranicus. Aranicus has been having a bit of a bad dream for the past few decades.
So these are all old
and
bosses.
that dream is manifesting in our world in a variety of ways, which Nora will talk about in just a little bit. For those that make it to his lair, we can't recommend waking this big beast up. But if you do and are able to prevail, a lot of sweet loot will no doubt await you. Speaking of loot, here's a quick look at some of the awesome rewards you'll find inside the Sunken Temple. First up, we have a new take on the Drakestone item with the new Shadow Arcane spell damage variant. Next
My
up
boom is gonna
love
this.
Yes, it's an axe gun. Shamans and paladins have felt left out for quite some time when it comes to having ranged weapons, and short of Egan's blaster, there's not much for them.
Fire the gun.
Now, you too can have a gun that you can swing like an axe or shoot like a gun.
Amazing
with a cooldown, of
weapons.
course. It's unfortunately a bit slow on the reload. Lastly, we have a quick look at our tier tokens.
You know, this is gonna be so great because melees are gonna get another way to deal damage from afar. So you know, an electrocutioner, when you get that static shock thing and you have to go out, it feels so bad if you get it. On my warrior, I got it so many times and I couldn't do any damage when that happened. And yeah, this will help you do some damage as well when you are when you have to stay far away from the boss. They're also revamping the tokens. Let's see what they have to say about this.
AQ40 will have 2 different tokens with several classes on each. We really
Amazing.
like the token system in Nomergon, but it sometimes felt a bit bad to be rolling against the
Yes.
entire raid whenever one dropped. So now we'll have 2 different tokens, and multiple
They're
will
gonna
drop
split
on each
them.
boss that can drop
That's
set tokens.
amazing.
And here's a quick look at some of the epic rewards. First off, we've got a glow up for the classic Embrace of the Serpent robe for healers. We've also updated the sword Dragon's Call. One cool thing about this weapon is that we've added several brand new
Calls forth an emerald dragon whelp to protect you in battle for a short period of time. 40.2 damage per second, 2.6 speed. This sword is gonna be very
effects
good.
for weapons in this patch. And this is one of the first items to take advantage of having a very fancy, but still quite classic, new glow. And just like in
looks
previous raids, we've got
amazing.
several fun items lined up as well. The
Ooh.
first item is the Atalai Blood Ceremony, which allows you and a friend or frenemy to play a deadly game where only
So
one
basically,
survives.
these are just
This item is
cosmetic
great
items.
for when you need to decide something, and a coin flip just won't cut it. The Unorthodox Hex Stick allows you to
These are
embrace your
fun
inner
items.
critter and transform
Yes.
into a disgusting little creepy crawler to dazzle and disgust your friends. These are just a few
That
examples,
sword,
and there
though,
are several
boys,
cool things
looks-
coming with this patch. We've intentionally left the best ones for you to discover yourself. Lastly, one bit of feedback we took to heart this patch was that a lot of updated quest rewards for previous level up raids could feel a bit underwhelming. So for Sunken Temple, we've actually gone a step further and helped rebalance and restat many of the existing quest rewards. The first example here is a Vanguard helm, and you can see we've made it a
Okay.
bit more attractive to the classes that can
25
use it.
stamp.
And Helm of Exile as well. And while not a quest reward, we have also carried
Shamans
forward
will
some of the
love
work
that.
we did updating dungeon drops in the previous phase, and revamped even more dungeon drop rewards, including Princess Therodrus' Scepter.
Another
And with
maze
that,
for the
I'll turn it
ferals,
over to
of
Matt
course.
to give us a preview of runes and
They need
just
it
some
in
of the
each
new
phase.
abilities you'll get access to.
Hey folks, I'm Matt Everett, Senior Engineer on the
Abilities.
class.
Okay.
I'll go over some of the new runes you might
New
find in
runes.
Phase 3. Before that, I want to note that we heard your feedback that a lot of runes last phase weren't accessible until level 40. We tried to
Yes,
balance
somehow.
Phase 3, so you'll find more runes while leveling, but you'll still have some to look forward to at 50.
Amazing, that's
Let's
good.
look at Druids first. Gore gives you a chance to reset some key feral cooldowns and generate some rage. And Improved Bark Skin gives you all the benefits of Bark Skin without the drawbacks, and you can cast it on your friends. Next up are Hunters. With Block and
Interesting,
Load,
interesting.
Your traps grant you a free shot with
I wanted a AoE for Boomkin, bro. We don't have that. And I don't think ferals have it either. Swipe is only for bears. So yeah, maybe they could add some rune. But this is only the 2 runes out of 6. So there's gonna be 6 runes in total. Maybe we will get something for our AoE as well. So now let's go for the
no
hunters.
cooldown. This could be a great 1-2 punch.
Hunters
with something
rules
like
look
double
amazing.
Chimera Shot. Focus Fire lets your pet build up Frenzy, which increases its attack speed. You can activate it to consume your pet's Frenzy,
Melee
boosting
hunter.
your attack speed and granting your pet
Going
focus.
ham again.
Next up are Mages. Deep Freeze is a powerful 5-second stun on a frozen target. If the target's immune to stuns, you take significant damage instead. Balefire Bolt lets you live on the edge of risk and reward, dealing heavy damage but decreasing your spirit. If you reach
What?
0 spirit, you die. And by the way, if you're leveling
Whoa,
a
that's
new
such a
mage,
fun
you might find this
ability,
rune
bro.
earlier than you expect. Paladins. Improved Sanctuary makes you even tankier, increasing Sanctuary's damage blocked and damage dealt back to attackers.
Nice.
Wrath lets you crit with Consecration and applies your melee crit chance to
Whoa.
your Holy Shock, Holy Wrath, and Exorcism spells.
Gonna see some
look at
paladin
priests.
crits.
Pain and Suffering allows your Mind Flay ability to refresh the duration of Shadow Word Pain.
That's
while
very
Surge of
nice.
Light causes your crits to make your next smite or flash heal instant cast. Rogues. Honor Among Thieves is incredibly powerful, granting you a combo point each time a
This
party
is
member
gonna be
scores a crit.
so good
It does
in
have a
raid.
short cooldown, but you'll be swimming in combo points with this rune.
Yes.
Cut to the Chase makes it easier to keep Slice and Dice up by allowing Eviscerate and Envenom to refresh it back to its max duration.
Amazing.
Next up are Shamans. When you deal melee damage, Mental Dexterity applies your intellect to your attack power, and then applies 30% of your attack power to your spells. Riptide is a fan favorite that instantly heals the target for an initial amount, and then heals for a similar amount
Wow.
over time.
You can have
When you chain
Riptide
heal a target
on
with
your
Riptide
damage
active,
dealer.
it gets consumed to power up the chain
That's so good.
heal. Warlocks. Pandemic makes damage over time spells even more overwhelming by letting them crit.
Whoa.
With this rune, you can summon the iconic Felguards to supplement your stable of
And the
defense.
Felguard as
Felguard
well.
is a powerful melee damage
You can
dealer
tank with
capable
your
of both tanking
Felguard, bro.
and dealing out serious
That's gonna be
punishment. He's
amazing.
not the only new demon you can summon this phase, but I'll let you discover that on your own. Warriors. With Taste for Blood, your rend damage lets you use Overpower once per 6 seconds.
Good.
Sword and Board gives your Devastate and Revenge a chance to reset Shield Slam's cooldown and make it cost no rage. This time, Warriors get a bonus rune. The much-requested Gladiator stance lets you live that Sword and Shield Gladiator fantasy. This increases your damage when wearing a shield, as well as letting you use abilities from...
We can play damage dealer warrior with a shield, bro.
other stances at the
my
cost of survivability.
That's gonna
This
be
is one we've
so
really been looking
fun.
forward to bringing to the season, and we can't wait to see what Warriors are able to do with it. I love
can't
watching
wait.
players work together to find all
Bro,
the new...
I must say, these changes look so fun. The best thing that they've done in years, I think, is Season of Discovery by now. It's amazing, bro. The runes, everything, the gameplay, how it feels, classic. It's classic plus, and it's amazing. I love
new
it.
runes each phase, and I'm looking forward to this one. Up next, Nora will join us to talk about PvP updates.
Hey, thanks, Matt. My name's Nora
Oh,
Valletta, and I'm a
PvP
lead software
updates,
engineer
boys.
on WoW Classic. I'm here to talk about some of the other updates we've got coming in Phase 3, starting with PvP. One of the things we've learned from previous phases is that
What did they learn?
PvP can be a bit rough when the only thing available is PvE gear that is generally set up with
Yes,
output stats
that's what
rather than
I was
survivability
talking
stats.
about.
As a result, we're going to be introducing a brand new level 50 PvP set that requires ranks
PvP sets with more stem.
5 through 7 to equip and earn.
They listened, bro. They listened. 5, 6, and 7 ranks.
This
Okay.
is similar to the rank 10 and rank 13 PvP sets in that it's a full 6-piece set with appropriate PvP sets.
So it's gonna take a lot of PvP to do it, but I'm fine with that, bro. I am fine with that. As long as we get the PvP
Bonuses?
set.
There will also be a starter set available from a
Okay.
new faction called the Emerald Wardens, but we'll go into more detail on them later on.
Uh-huh.
Here's a quick
A new
look at a
zone,
few
maybe?
of the new PvP set items. You'll notice that they are a bit more specialized and focused than the previous level 60
Yes.
PvP sets were. Each
Lots of
class will have a
stem. I love that. And also the set. Let's see the leather set. 15 stem on the 3 set. And increased damage and healing done by magical spells. That's very good, bro. That's very good. I love
a
that.
variety of sets available to them such that multiple different specs or roles are covered. We're also making a few adjustments to the Blood Moon event, including adding brand new rewards for level 50. We'll
Good.
also be adding a new currency for the level 50 rewards called Massacre Coins, which you'll earn
You're gonna have so many things to do, bro. In classic, in phase 3, you will not get bored. I swear. So you have Ashen Veil. If you are making a new character, you have Ashen Veil, you have Blood Moon, and now they are scaling up Blood Moon. So you get even more things and more things. And then I think we're gonna get some new events as well, and the
killing
raids.
higher level players in the event.
It's gonna be amazing.
Retiring the blood-stained commendations that are currently available from the Bloodcoin vendor. Any existing
Okay.
commendations that you have will still function after the patch, but don't hold on to them forever. They will expire after 2 weeks.
Okay.
We think it's okay if you're able to bank these now to give you a bit of a leg up on PvP ranking at the start of the next phase, but we don't necessarily want you to be able to hoard enough coins to get you all the way up to rank 14 later on when that rank becomes available. We'll have a new PvP honor consumable token for level 50 as well, purchasable with the new currencies.
Great.
And how about some gear? Here are a few of the new
Ooh.
items available via the Blood Moon event in Phase 3. Do note
Chance on hit knocks the target silly for 2 seconds. So you're telling me... Wait, it's with intellect. Oh, it's shaman mace. Oh my god, if I could equip this on a warrior, it would be so nice. So this is for paladin. 36 attack power when fighting Dragonkin. Are there gonna be a lot of Dragonkin? I think so, yeah. From level 40 and above, there are gonna be some Dragonkins. And, oh, they get a cross. They've been crying, bro. These hunters, they've been crying so much because they have guns and stuff and they don't like the sounds. Now they get a good crossbow. Your range attacks leech 5 health from your targets. What? Okay, nice. And the thrown weapon.
The Headhunter's
Let's see
Barbed
what else
Spear
we
is
got.
a warrior-only weapon. We also realized that ranged hunters may have felt a bit left out last time.
Yeah.
So we've gone ahead and given them a pretty strong
They gave them a hunter. Was it a bow with strength?
crossbow option in this round.
So
Well, Phase 3 of Season of Discovery will soon be upon us, and with it comes new loot, new opportunities to gain experience, and new adventures.
let's see the new events,
Let's
maybe.
take a quick look at our new PvE world event called Nightmare Incursions. Picture, if you will,
PvE
the 4 emerald
world
portals
event.
scattered across Azeroth. At this point in history, the dragons of Nightmare, Terrar, Ysondra, Emerus, and Lethan have not yet arrived to spread their terror.
Mm-hmm.
However, as you approach each portal, you can't help but sense hidden danger. Something's not quite right. Those brave enough to enter an emerald portal will be plunged into a realm seeping with corruption and overrun with dragons, treants, and other poor souls driven mad by the corruption. But beware, not all foes are alike. Some enemies can be defeated by a single seasoned adventurer, while others are perhaps too powerful to be faced alone. Nightmare
Okay,
Incursions offer repeatable
so
PvE content for levels 25 through 50. To check it out,
repeatable
simply
count.
enter
So basically, you can also level it here. Whoa, this is like Emerald Dream from Dragonflight. They brought it basically into Classic as well. New reputation, new rewards. Repeatable content for levels 25 and 50.
one of the 4 emerald portals located in Duskwood.
I don't think anyone expected this. We're gonna have to wait and see how it is.
Ashen Vale, Hinterlands,
Because
or
I don't know
Feralis.
how it's gonna be.
This is a great new opportunity to earn experience, and those who choose to jump in and fight the corruption will have the chance to earn reputation with an all-new faction called the Emerald Warden.
So basically, they thought about us having alts and leveling them up only with the same old quests and dungeons, and they made a new zone for us to level, bro. That's amazing.
Great danger comes great rewards. The Emerald Wardens will be very grateful for your help and will be offering a selection of choice new items to sweeten the deal. One of the cool things
Great.
about Nightmare Incursions is that we plan to include some rewards at different player levels, as there will be content available for players roughly level 20 all the way to 50 across all 4 Nightmare portals. The first example is this Nightmare Siphon Trinket, which could be really fun for low-level alts. For level 50, we have the Roar of the Dream, a somewhat unique ring that has a sizable spell damage proc on it. Lastly, we also plan to take a page from the Burning Crusade playbook and make a level 50 PvP set available at Honored with the new Emerald Wardens faction. This set isn't as powerful as some of the other PvP item rewards we plan to add this phase,
that's
but
how
it's a good
has to
stepping
be.
stone into the better items later on. With
That's
the launch of
great.
Phase 3
So they
comes a
made basically an honor set and a conquest set. Blizzard is listening. They give us what we want,
interesting
guys.
new updates to professions.
I like this.
Continuing on from the first 2 phases, we'll be introducing a new quest chain to give players access to new nightmare armaments, crafting recipes, as well as some fun things for engineering, enchanting, and alchemy. We've also learned a few lessons from the previous phase of professions, so the cost to access the recipes will be essentially free in terms of raw gold, and the cost of the recipes that Ziri offers in Nomergon are going to be decreased as well, in case you want to buy additional recipes for completion or you have an alt that wants to snag the recipes for themselves.
Amazing.
We think gold sinks are important and are going to explore different ways later on to do that are not so directly on the critical path of gear progression. Here's a quick look at a few of the crafted items you can make this phase.
Let's see the leather one. Channels the power of the void, granting immunity to fear for 15 seconds.
Across various professions and for various specs and roles. As you can see, some of these items offer interesting new on-equipped effects which are applied while you're under the influence of the nightmare.
Have a chance to increase your spell damage by 30.
Nightmare free, we've got some cool new items such as the void-powered Slayer's Vambraces, which can grant you immunity to fear.
Wait, that's an agility item.
We do plan to allow you to pick up specializations this phase, as well as allow you to level to 300 in each profession. Additionally, we've added a few new surprises here. For example, we are adding a quest to allow you to get additional potion, elixir, and flask procs when crafting those types of consumables. So
we're not going to get a 50 to 55. It's going to be 50 to 60 straight. That's very good.
You'll also have to do a little bit of legwork to unlock these things, but the benefits should be well worth it. The lion's share of our new toys involving professions specs will be coming after level 60, and we have some very cool things planned there to allow you to make the most of your professions. Well, that was a lot of updates. I hope I didn't forget anything. Josh, I'm not forgetting anything, am I?
Now that you mention it, Nora, there is one small system update you might have missed. But first, hi, I'm Josh Greenfield, Senior Game Producer on WoW Classic. So there is one small system change coming, and honestly, the update is so minor we almost didn't mention it, because we didn't think anyone would really care, but since we're all previewing things, we figured we might as well. So, in 115.2 with Phase 3, you may happen upon a dashing dwarf from a faraway land that has one very special talent that he wants to share with you for a small fee, of course. Actually, to be a little bit more specific,
Dual talent specialization. You see what it says here, guys? Dual talent specialization.
he has 2 sets of special talents to share.
Amazing.
Like I said, we were pretty sure this wouldn't be a big deal to most players. We probably should have just left it out of the presentation. So, with that, we're
Jokey
approaching the home
boy.
stretch, but we've got a tiny bit more to discuss, and we want to take some time to cover a few other miscellaneous topics, commonly asked questions, as well as a quick look at how things will start to shape up at level 60. So let's jump right into that. So the
Let's
first
do
topic
it.
here is world buffs. As with the previous phases, we'll continue to allow you to
Wait,
use
what?
the previous world buff up through the current max level.
Uh-huh.
The new raid, Sunken Temple, will also include a new world buff. We'll also be making some rather powerful consumables available for exchange on a certain NPC using materials found in the Sunken Temple raid. These are spiritually similar to the Zanza elixirs that you could obtain by exchanging items found in Silver Rub. They're quite powerful, so you'll definitely want to bring them with you to the raid when you can. Also, as with previous phases, we did want to clarify that bankable, repeatable turn-in items will not function to allow you to level quickly from 40 to 50.
Okay.
We really love the preparation aspects of original WoW, and things like pre-questing are great. But being able to bank hundreds or even thousands of repeatable quest turn-in items,
Yeah, they mean the silk cloth and stuff like that.
is not going to be supported in this or any phase going forward.
I like that.
To be clear, this includes things like Marks of Honor, Wastewander water pouches, and the troll necklaces from the hinterland. One of the big lessons we've learned in Season of Discovery is how tricky it can be to balance the level up journey and the outdoor world, but to also encourage players to play multiple characters.
I've seen a guy on Reddit. He made like a spreadsheet of all the quests that you can do, like pre-questing, and he had those quests that he's talking about in the spreadsheet, and he said that he spent hours in doing it, and now it's new. It's like nothing because you can't do it anymore. I wonder how he feels about that.
It's tricky to manage, especially against a seasonal backdrop where the content phases are relatively short by World of Warcraft standards. To help out with this a bit, we introduced a very powerful Discoverer's Delight XP buff at the midpoint of Phase 2. And while that was effective at increasing the speed at which you could level alts, it didn't really help to reduce the fatigue that came with leveling your first main character. By way of a compromise, in Phase 3, you will earn 50% additional XP from all sources from levels 40 to 49, and this will be active right when Phase 3 goes live. This is just to give a slight nudge right away. It will still be a...
So you get an XP buff from the start? Whoa! 50% XP buff from the start.
Sizable number of hours to hit 50.
I'm down.
But this
I'm
will
down.
help move that along without feeling like you're either just flying through zones or conversely in danger of running out of quests if questing is your preferred leveling method. Note that the 100% buff from 1 through 39 will remain in
The
place.
Ashenvale music, it's so
Overall,
nice.
we think that these buffs are a decent solution, but they aren't what we consider to be ideal. We're going to carry a lot of what we learned forward if we do something like this again, and maybe look at other adjustments we can make to help smooth the leveling curve in general. Additionally, as with Black Fathom Deeps before, Nomergon will give a sizable amount of XP for each boss kill. So
Very
continuing
good.
to run that with your guild
Very,
will
very,
be a
very,
worthwhile
very, very
activity
good.
when it is available to you. On the same token, we see Nightmare Incursions as a good quick way to get a good chunk of XP if you find yourself wanting a change of pace from your normal leveling routine. There's a lot of repeatable content that gives experience there. As for the raid release and lockout schedule, we've
1
been
week
thinking a
lockout,
lot about
okay.
this, and we
That's
decided to shift
okay.
Sunken Temple to a weekly lockout, and it will be available right at the release of Phase 3, kind of similar to what we did with Nomergon in Phase 2. Players will have 5 full days to hit level 50 if you want to try and get in a raid during that first lockout, and then the raid will work like any other weekly lockout, resetting on Tuesday, or your normal
With a
regional
50% XP buff,
decided to
players
make
will do
this
it in
swap for
one
a
day,
few
bro.
reasons. First,
World of
we've gotten
Warcraft
feedback
players
from
are
saying
insane.
they would like to have a bit more consistency with their raid schedule, and with the raid size going up to 20 players in this phase, being able to plan long-term is even more important. We'll also talk about this a little bit more in the next few slides, but we're also thinking ahead to what the raiding landscape will look like once we hit level 60. That also informs this decision. Lastly, on this topic, we will be sure we are being generous with drops to compensate for this change. That's a good segue to talk about level 60. Since we're getting close to 60, we think it makes sense to dig into a few more details of what you can expect.
They
starting
will
with
give
phase
us
4.
something
This
from
preview is
60.
very, very early and in no way comprehensive, but it's just meant to be a minor sneak peek at some things we have cooking. Again, to stress that much of what you will see here is still very much in development, and some specifics could and likely will change. This is more of a look at our general thought process, rather than the actual set-in-stone plans we have. As we alluded to a few slides ago, we plan to standardize raid lockouts from level 50 and beyond to a weekly reset. This includes things like Silver Rub, Ruins of Anchorage, and Onyxia's Lair. We also want to assure with our itemization updates, many of the items, even in early raids, remain relevant for a pretty good long time. Ultimately, this is a very classic approach, and many items you got, even as your pre-raid best in slot, such as the Hand of Justice or the Savage Gladiator chain, remained good for several tiers, and we want to carry this forward. With this in mind, however, we know you will likely want to run several different raids a week, but we want to avoid a situation where logistics gets messy because you have to contend with a large number of irregular, unwieldy raid log timers. By the time Blackwing Lair is out, for example, there's going to be a large menu of relevant things to do at level 60, and being able to plan and schedule activities on a predictable cadence is going to be very important. Last quick note on this, while Upper Blackrock Spire is technically a 10-player raid, it's never had a lockout, and that will remain true. It's essentially a 10-player dungeon,
thank God.
And will remain that way. So go farm those Briarwood reeds. Another very frequently asked question we've received is, what about weapon skill racial bonuses? From the start, we've suggested that you shouldn't need to worry too much about things like orc and human weapon skills long term, and that you should feel good about choosing whatever race you want based on their aesthetics or other bonuses that race gets apart from weapon skill bonus. Every phase, we get asked for a status update on this, and we just wanted to confirm that yes, the solution is coming at level 60. At level 60, you will be able to discover a method to essentially swap in and out up to 2 weapon skill bonuses for your character. So, for example, if I were a Troll Fury Warrior and I had a mace and a dagger, I could swap my passive bonuses to +5 maces and +5 daggers. Please note that these weapon skill bonuses do not stack with each other or with a certain race's normal passive weapon skill bonus.
So everybody gets
it. If I were a human warrior, I already get +5 maces from my racial skill. So instead, I might want to use +5 bows and +5 daggers, so that maybe my bow skill had a better
so everybody gets 2 bonuses. So the previous bonus that they had, it's not in vain. Basically, yeah, I get that. So they can use the other +5 into another thing. But still, I feel like they made them so special, you know? Orcs, humans. And now they are not really that special. Maybe they need to give them something else. Like for humans, as I think they need to give them something else, because besides the specialization, they don't really have anything. The racial is bad. Okay, you get 10% more rep and some spirit, but that's it. I feel like, yeah, they need something more.
Higher level mobs. Just like your racial skills, however, these passives will
But
stack
we're gonna
with
have
any
to
weapon
see.
skill you gain from items, such as Obsidian Edge Blade or Maladath Ruined Blade of the Black Flight. These unlockable passives will be available right at level 60, and while there will be a short discovery to unlock them, everyone who wants them will have access to them early on.
Good.
Thought, yes, priests will also be able to unlock other races' unique priest spells as well, such as Devouring Plague and Fearwolf. We don't want to spoil how this will work just yet, but just like weapon skills, we do get asked about this a lot and wanted to confirm that this was also coming and would be available early on at level 60. There will also be discoveries tied to accessing these spells as well.
Priest's gonna love this.
So this is the last big item in our level 60 preview, and we think it's the most impactful, as items are obviously going to be a major focus of the new
So
level
they're
60.
trying to balance
We're
the...
essentially totally revamping tier sets to add multiple variants.
By doing this, you know, with the priests and with the weapon specialization, I think they are really trying to balance the factions. Even though you can't really do that many things to balance everything, because then you lose some of the, you know, the race specific things. So why would you want to be an orc or a human if you have everything in on both sides? So it loses like the essence of the game a bit. But what they do here with small little changes, like priests getting all the spells from the other races of the priests and the weapon +5s for the weapons, it's a good change just because it doesn't impact the game in such a big way, but it also helps, you know, like if you want to have a dwarf warrior or a troll warrior, as he said, and you get a nice axe. Of course, the orc is gonna get it because he has a +5 on axes. But now it's not the case. You can play a troll warrior and you will be fine.
For different specs and roles that each class can fill. We don't necessarily
So I
intend
like
to
that,
make a full
yes.
set for every single niche playstyle in every raid tier, as some classes could end up with upwards of 5 to 7 sets every few months.
Mhm.
But we do want to try and cover a lot of the major roles, as well as some new playstyles we've added to different classes, so that most unique roles each class has access to get something cool at some point
Yeah, I
during
bet
the
that's a
season.
heyday. That's a heyday.
Additionally, we plan to revamp many existing non-set
Off-spec
dungeon
tier
and raid
sets.
items at level 60, as well as adding new best-in-slot or nearly best-in-slot crafting options at 60. We think there's a lot of fun and interesting things we can do with the level 60 professions and profession specialization crafts, and we plan to expand on those to keep crafting more relevant for a longer period of time. Lastly, swapping profession specializations will be easier and more flexible, but will likely have a cost associated with doing so. We're still ironing out the final design for what
So
this will look like.
I know what they're gonna do. You're not gonna lose all the points. So basically and you have just to spend some gold. When you unlearn it, you spend some gold, you get it back. That's so much easier. You don't need an alt to farm your other mats.
If you're
I like
familiar
that.
with how this worked in Burning Crusade, that might be a good starting point to inform how
Yes,
this might
yes.
work. Finally, here's a few quick examples of what potential new tier sets could look like. These are very much not finalized, so any of the stats or set
8-piece
bonuses.
set, bro. 8-piece set. Let's see the boomy one. Damage and healing done by magical 23. So let's see what the set does. Increase the critical hit chance of rat and starfire 4%. Yes, I'm gonna do so many crits, bro. Duration of insect swarm by 12 seconds. They want us to use that? Okay. Each tick of Moonfire's damage over time effect grants your next Starfire by 10%. Increase damage stacking up to 10 times. 100% more damage on Starfire from Moonfire. Loving it. Let's see for the Paladin. Increase the holy damage bonus of your judgment of the Crusader by 50. I don't know much about Paladins, but these look nice. Oh yeah, so this is tank rogue set. Like they say, off spec. You gain 5 energy every time you pair an attack. Yes, okay.
Could and probably will change.
Night Slayer
So
spot a lot.
first off, you'll notice we've got a tanking rogue set with a very interesting
Yeah.
bonus. We've also got a Shockedin Paladin set that really plays up key abilities such as Exorcism
And Holy Shock.
Lastly, we have a Boomkin set that really leans into some of the bonuses we've recently added to Moonfire.
Yeah.
Again, these
Boomy,
are
boomy,
somewhat
boomy,
early
boomy,
on
boomy,
rough
boom,
draft
boom, boom.
versions of some of these items, but we think being able to make exciting new variations of these iconic item sets is very cool, and it's going to be a defining feature of the level 60 endgame. So with that, we're done with today's presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you for bearing.
Guys, I must say, with everything that I've seen here in this video, it's not many things that I don't agree with. I really like what they are going to implement in phase 3. We have 2 weeks to prepare. So yeah, that's everything is great. I like how Season of Discovery is looking. I must say I've been playing some retail on the side, but every time I go back into Season of Discovery, I'm having so much fun, bro. I don't mind the farming for professions. I don't mind the raiding. I don't mind maybe the PvP a bit I have, but the changes that I'm seeing here, I think they are gonna be positive with all the PvP sets and stuff. And I think now from phase 3 and onwards, I think we're gonna get some very, very nice things. Also, I'm really wondering if you guys would love a Burning Crusade Season of Discovery after all of these phases are done. Of course, that's gonna be like in maybe a year or something. But yeah, if you would like that, leave a comment, leave a like if you like this video, and yeah, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you. Bye bye.